Hey everybody, here is a video explaining end behavior. This is an extra video. You don't have to take notes on this if you don't want to. It's definitely helpful if you jot some of it down, but excuse me, if you just want to watch, then hopefully I can explain end behavior so that you can see how easy it is. So end behavior, okay, is talking about the ends of the graph. So the ends of the graph are where the arrows are. Okay, so this would be the right end of the graph because it's on the right hand side, and then this would be the left hand side of this graph, the left end. For this graph over here, this would be the right hand side, and this would be the left hand side. So mathematicians write out how the ends are pointing, whether they're pointing up or they're pointing down, and we write it in a specific way with our math symbols. So this is how we're going to write it. Every end behavior answer starts out the same. It's always as x approaches negative infinity and as x approaches positive infinity. This will always be the same every time you write your end behavior answer. So what does this mean? Well, mathematically, this term right here, as x approaches negative infinity, that means as you go out to the left, because negative infinity would be way out here. So that's asking what's going on the left hand side of the graph. And then this right here, as x approaches, the arrow means approaches, as x approaches positive infinity, well, that's a mathematical way of saying what's happening way out here on the right hand side of the graph. So this is out here at positive infinity. So remember, we're looking at the ends of your parabola. So when you go out to negative infinity, you're really looking at this end right here. Because really, remember, this is going to keep going forever and ever and ever. Okay, it's going to go farther to the left, and it's also going to keep going up. And then on this side, as you go to positive infinity, you want to look at the end of your graph. So the end of this graph is going to be going up higher, but it's also going to be going farther to the right as it goes up. So what's happening? Well, as x approaches negative infinity, on the left-hand side, the graph goes up. So to write that, you say y approaches. Now, if you're going up, then that means y is going to approach positive infinity. Okay, positive infinity is up here for the y-axis. And then on the right-hand side, as x approaches positive infinity, so as we go to the right-hand side, the graph is going up again, so you'll write y approaches positive infinity again. That's your end behavior, okay? So remember, this is always going to be the same every single time. Okay, always the same. And then over here, this is what's going to change. If your graph is face up, it's both going to be positive infinity because both ends, the left end and the right end, are both going up. Now, for the second example, we've got a face down parabola. So when you write your end behavior, we're going to start out with the same thing that we started out with before. X goes to negative infinity, x goes to positive infinity. This means what's going on the left-hand side, and this means what's going on the right-hand side. That's all that means. It's just mathematical symbols saying left and right. So for this graph, since we're face down, on the left-hand side, the graph is going down. So this would be y approaches negative infinity. Since we're going down, that means we're approaching negative infinity on the y-axis. And then for the second part, as x approaches positive infinity, that means on the right-hand side, your graph is also going down. So you will write y approaches negative infinity. That's your end behavior. Okay, let's do two more. And ask me questions after this video if you're still a little shaky on this. So here's another graph, and I just drew another picture just to show that it doesn't have to cross the x-axis. It can be any parabola anywhere on your graph. So we start out with x goes to negative infinity, x goes to positive infinity. We always start out with that every time. So now we're going to talk about what the ends of the graph are doing. This is the left-hand side, and this is the right-hand side. So looking at the left-hand side, we're going down to negative infinity. So y goes to negative infinity. That's how you would write it. And then on this side, we also are going down. So y goes to negative infinity. With parabolas, it's either going to be both negative infinity and negative infinity, or positive infinity and positive infinity, like this graph over here. Here's another example. So as x goes to negative infinity and as x goes to positive infinity, the graph, now on the left-hand side, we're going up. So this will be y goes to positive infinity. And on the right-hand side, we're going up. So y goes to positive, oops, forgot my little arrow. So let's fix that, y goes to positive infinity again. And that's end behavior. Just look at where the arrows are pointing, and remember, this part is always the same. I hope that helps. Definitely ask me questions if you're